What is going on, peasants? My name is JB and I'm back here today with a brand new Pokemon Unite video, and we're going to be ranking the held items as well as the battle items inside of the game because tier lists are super easy to make and I need content. But yeah, this should be pretty fun. I haven't really talked a whole lot about the items, and fourth wall break, I actually recorded about 13 minutes of this video on a different tier list before I realized that it was before Razer Claw specs and weakness policy were released, so we're redoing this. But one more thing before we actually get into this, I'm going to be streaming tonight on Twitch. Link as always in the description, twitch.tv/I'mJBWestside. Come hang out. It's going to be a fun time. I know Dorian's going to be there. I don't know about Galade. I think he's probably going to be there. It just depends on who else around, but we're going to be playing some games. Been having a lot of fun on Twitch recently. I had like my biggest and best stream ever the other night, so want to hop back on. Been having a ton of fun with it. We're almost to affiliates, so hopefully you guys can come join if you are interested in that at all. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the tiers. So we have the S tier is just items that are always good. Like you can just slap it on any Pokemon and it'll be a good build. A tier is for items that are really good most of the time, but it's just, you can get more value out of the other items. B tier, okay, interesting point. The B tier and C tier are niche strats and situationally good. I'm not really looking at these as better or worse than the other. It's just how I'm describing the items. Because I know for a fact there's an item in C tier that I think is absolutely better than an item I put in B tier, but the way it's not really niche and it's not really situational. It's just, they're two totally different things, and I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. And then we have the D tier for don't. So let's go ahead and hop right in, and right off the bat we're going to be talking about the situation I was just describing. So Eos Cookie, I think it's a pretty niche item, but it's good on those niche situations. Like back in the day, those Crustle builds with attack, weight, score shield, Eos Cookie just being thick as hell and not being able to die were really fun and really good. Of course, it's not as good nowadays now that Crustle doesn't have its, crits and stuff, because and you don't heal as much from scoring, but it's still a really fun item, and you can get away with running it on a few Pokemon. Like Snorlax has some fun with it, with I know a lot of Flail builds run Eos Cookie attack weight. I think that's a pretty fun, thing. Like if you're gonna run, Flail, might as well have some fun with it if you're getting stacked because you're such a bully early. Wigglytuff can make some use out of it, and a lot of Pokemon can use Eos Cookie. Like it's not a bad item, but it's just there are definitely better options. And next up, Assault Vest. I do not think Assault Vest is better than Eos Cookie. However, I think it is a situationally good item because if your enemy team has all special attackers, Assault Vest is a great item. However, your enemy team could be running 5 physical attackers and you will have a literally useless item slot. So I think situationally, Assault Vest is an okay item. It's not bad, it's completely dependent on what the other team is doing, and you have no way of knowing whether or not you'll get value out of it going into the game. But if you do get value out of it, it can be pretty good. So thus, situationally good. Again, I don't think it's better than Eos Cookie. I think, objectively and generally speaking, I think Eos Cookie is a better item than Assault Vest. But how we are describing the tiers, I think Assault Vest is more situational than niche. So that's how we're doing it. Attack weight. It's not an item that a lot of Pokemon use, but it's an item that the Pokemon that do use it incredibly well. Lucario has been the best Pokemon in the game for a long time, and attack weight has been a staple on it forever. A lot of Pokemon enjoy stacking items. Your Talonflames, your Machamps, your quite literally anything that wants to run an attack weight can. But it's a pretty damn decent item. Very good item. We'll go ahead and throw it in the A tier. I think it's good most of the time. The Pokemon that run attack weight really benefit from it. So boom, A tier. Next up, Buddy Barrier. Do we really need to talk about this one? I think it's the best item in the game. It's just that. It is one of the absolute best items in the game. It's not one of, it is the best item in the game. Unite move gives you a huge shield to you and a friend. Save them. You can save them from dying. You can, use it in junction with a score shield and dunk points in people's faces disrespectfully. They just can't break it. The Dragonite build with that and score shield, you just unite in, you dunk 50 in the face of 3 people and not care. Buddy Barrier is the best item in the game. Don't know why we spent this much time on it. Choice specs. All right, I think choice specs are very good. But again, not a lot of Pokemon run it really. But the Pokemon that do run it really benefit from it. I think choice specs are gonna go ahead and slap them in the solid A tier. I think they're the best special attack boosting item. You slap it on a Ninetales, you slap it on a Pikachu, Gardevoir, all just special attacking demons. There you go. Boom. Choice specs. Great. Energy Amp. It's between B and C for me. I think it's a really, really fun item. It's just not a lot of stuff actually benefits from it. More than, you know, it would benefit from something else. It used to be ran on Pikachu a lot, but Pikachu's Unite move got a buff anyway, so it's not really necessary anymore. Funny how that works. Like, yeah, you run Energy Amp because you want to get its Unite move more often, because its Unite move is really fun and already charged really fast. Well, it just made its Unite move charge faster, so you kind of don't need it, so you can just get away with running a Specs or a Muscle Band on it instead. But it can be really fun. You know, the cooldown reduction is cool. It's, you know, pretty solid. And, you know, just being able to Unite more often is fun, and you do more damage after Unite as well. So like, I have a Unite amp or an Energy Amp Zera Aura build that went crazy. That video's on the channel if you want to go back and watch that. I'm gonna put it in C for niche because it's like it's only good on a few Pokemon. It's not great all the time, but it is really fun when you do use it. Again, B and C tier are interchangeable in terms of what you actually think is better, but I'm putting it more niche than situational. Speaking of more niche than situational, I'm going to go ahead and give that to the Experience Share as well. So Experience Share is legitimately only ran on Blissey and Eldegoss, and even then I think a Focus Band is just better. Like, if you go to Unite DB and look at Eldegoss, the suggested build is Buddy, Muscle Band, Energy, or EXP Share, with a Score Shield as the alternative. Why not just run a Focus Band? I'm sure there's some math behind it or some reason for it, but most of the time when I'm playing, I don't see an Experience Share on my Eldegoss or my Blissey. First off, I don't really see an Eldegoss or a Blissey on my team all that often, which is a problem in and of itself that no one plays support. The thing is, every time I see an Experience Share, it's always on your Zeras, your Grins, your Cinderaces, your Talonflames, your Lucarios. The Pokemon that a lot of people play, they just have no idea how the item works. They just run through the lane, last hit everything, because like, oh dude, they played the mainline Pokemon games, Experience Share must be good. No, that's not how the item works in this game at all. But yeah, it's niche. It's not bad, but I personally don't like it. All right, Floatstone. It is one of the two reasons why they gave us the level 30 item enhancers, because at the beginning of the game, they did a horrible job of explaining how items worked, because they did not tell us that it only activated outside of combat. Because, you know, you come from MOBAs, there are other video games with like equipables and like items and stuff like that. You look at, oh, here's your movement and attack speed buff item. That thing's gonna be crazy. Let's pump all of our item enhancers into it and make sure we get this thing leveled up. Well, then we found out that it only works outside of battle. And yeah, Floatstone is one of the worst items in the game. If it was active all the time, like if Floatstone worked how it read in the beginning of the game, it'd be up here. You know, you always have a movement speed, always have an attack buff. That'd be great. But instead, it's just terrible. Never run it. Don't do it. It's bad. Just don't. Focus Band. Focus Band is one of the 3 best items in the game. Easy S tier. Don't really need to talk about it. Gives you bulk, gives you survivability. It's great. Leftovers. Yeah. This is going in don't as well. They're really bad. Doesn't give you as much HP as Buddy Barrier or Score Shield or even Rocky Helmet for that matter. Actually, I don't know about Rocky Helmet. It might give you more HP than Rocky Helmet. Not that it really matters. It gives you the same HP as Rocky Helmet, literally the same. And it also is only active outside of combat, and it doesn't even heal you that high of a percent. And it has to. How does that have to work? Okay, you don't have to take a certain amount of damage, but it's only, again, after combat, and you just heal so little from it. It's just not worth running. So yeah, coming from a competitive Pokemon, scene, Draft League, Showdown Ladders, BDC, stuff like that, Leftovers is one of the best items in the mainline Pokemon games. However, it is awful in Pokemon Unite. Just don't. Muscle Band, easy S tier. You can literally slap these 3 items on any Pokemon and you will have a good build. That's why they're the best 3 items in the game. Don't really need to discuss this all too much, but I've seen some people in my Twitch chat and just in comment sections and stuff like that ask, hey, you're playing Ninetales, why would you have a Muscle Band? Ninetales is a special attacker. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain this for people who may not know. The auto attacks in this game are based off the Pokemon's attack stats. So for Pokemon like Ninetales and Pikachu, who are our special attackers, they spam their auto attacks constantly. So Muscle Band is even good on special attackers as well. Even Eldegoss, like they talked about earlier with the Experience Share, is a Pokemon that runs Muscle Band as well, because you're spamming your auto attacks so often. It has a really good enhanced auto. Venusaur as well. These are Pokemon that are all special attackers that really appreciate Muscle Band. Just for those of you who didn't know that, yeah, your attack set is based off, your auto attack set is based off physical attack. So that's why it's good. And it's also, you know, just a really good item. It gives you attack speed as well. So yeah, it's, yeah, just one of the best items in the game, plain and simply. Razer Claw, Razer Claw, Laser Claw, Razer Claw, Razer Claw. Crits are always cool. Crits are always great. Let me read exactly how it activates. I know how it works, but I don't know exactly how it activates. I have United DB pulled up because I wanted to be thorough. Okay. So yeah, it's just melee attacks. So you get the slow, you get the crits. It's a good item. I'm gonna put it in. I don't think it's as good as Scopelands, unfortunately, but I mean, crits are good, slows are good. We'll give it A tier. It's a really good item. Not a lot of Pokemon run it. You throw it on your Absols, you throw it on your, you know, your Serena. Serena makes really good use of it. Zero Aura makes really good use of it. It's a really good item. We'll go ahead and give it the respect it deserves. Rocky Helmet. Okay, actually, I have an interesting take on Rocky Helmet. I'm gonna put it in don't. I think Rocky Helmet is a buff away from being really, really good. So how it activates is it's based off of your HP. The only time Rocky Helmet activates is when an ability, when a single attack or ability does 10% of your HP. And typically you want to run you know, this item on a more defensive thing with higher HP, so it doesn't really proc all that often. But if they change the percent it takes, or they change how it works, where it doesn't have to be a single attack, if it's just, you know, within a certain time frame, like a certain like 2-second time frame, if you take 10%, or if they buff the damage that it does back, I think Rocky Helmet is a buff away from being really, really good. So be on the lookout for Rocky Helmet. If it ever gets a buff, might be a pretty good item. Next up, we have the other reason they gave us the level 30 item enhancers, Scopelands, because some people found out that the game was kind of pay to win. I really don't think it is, but it kind of is. And for the people who think it is, that's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and put it in A tier. It's, of course, borderline S tier. You know, crits win games, dude. It's, you know, throwing an element of luck in any game isn't always fun, but it does raise your critical hit rate and your critical hit damage. It's borderline S tier, but I don't want to have a ton of S tier items, so we're going to go ahead and put it in A, just because not as many Pokemon make use of crits as, you know, everyone can make use of these three items. So for that reason, go ahead and put it there. Score Shield. All right. We are going to have 4 S tier items because Score Shield, I believe, is absolutely S tier. There are still people who will tell you with a straight face that Score Shield is bad, and those people are plain and simply wrong. Like, it is objectively a great item, gives you a ton of HP, makes you unstoppable. In a Wigglytuff meta, you can just go score and avoid Sing. Dude, that in and of itself makes Score Shield valuable. But like, it cannot like, you cannot overstate being able to win a game because, you know, the opponents can't stop you from scoring. Score Shield provides that. Score Shield also provides, you know, excellent support for attack weight, for Eiscue, for special attack specs. Score Shield is one of the best items in the game. Helps you score, gives you HP, gives you bulk, stacks with Buddy Barrier. It's phenomenal. Like, yeah, there's a reason Score Shield and Buddy Barrier are comboed so well right now in the scoring meta, in the Japanese scoring meta too. It's, yeah, the Score Shield is a good item, and if you think it's a bad item, you're an idiot. All right. Shell Bell. I'm gonna go ahead and say Shell Bell is niche. It's not bad, it's just I think specs are better in pretty much every way. You know, Choice Specs, of course, only activates, you know, it gives you that like burst of damage, where I believe Shell Bell is a more, yeah, Shell Bell raises your attack, whereas Choice Spec like raises your special attack, whereas Choice Specs Choice Specs, you know, gives you a proc every 8 seconds. Shell Bell gives you it heals you rather than gives you an extra burst of damage, is how it works in comparison to Choice Specs. And Choice Specs also gives you more of a special attack buff, so and it also gives you cooldown reduction, which I do think is fun, but it's a more niche thing as well, so we'll put it there. All right. Special attack specs. I'm sorry, I'm running, like, my mouth is like super dry, but it's fine. We'll make do. Special attack specs, we're gonna go ahead and throw in niche as well with Eiscue. Special attack specs aren't great because there aren't a lot of like good like scoring special attackers. You have your Gengar, which is really the only like mobile special attacker, but Gengar sucks. Triple Glasses Gengar is a threat, don't get me wrong, but it's really hard to stack with a Pokemon that frail and that terrible, so just don't run Gengar. but it can be used on some fun like Blastoise builds, and it can be used on, you know, maybe like a fun Gardevoir triple glasses build. I've seen triple glasses Slowbro and triple glasses Mr. Mime put in a lot of work as well. But the reason special attack specs are actually really a pretty solid item for supports, funnily enough, for Eldegoss and for Blissey, because they're healing their Egg Bomb and their Cotton Guard / Pollen Puff / I think Cotton Spore Heals as well. Whichever moves on Eldegoss Hill. Don't play a ton of Eldegoss, don't crucify me. They actually scale with their special attacks, so you heal more if you have more special attacks. So slap your choice specs on, your special attack specs on, and, you know, score a little bit, and you're gonna be healing more. So pretty fun item for that reason, but, you know, it's just there's better options for those Pokemon, for Eldegoss and Blissey specifically, but it can be fun. Weakness policy, I think situationally it can be good. If you're, you know, playing a more brawly build, it can be decent and you can put out a ton of damage with it. But at the same time, you could also just slap on a Scope Lens or a Muscle Band or an Attack Weight and do basically the same thing. But I don't think Weakness Policy is bad. I think it just needs maybe a little bit of a tweak. It's not an awful item. Like, it's really fun. Okay, I'm gonna have a Dragonite video coming out soon with a Weakness Policy build that I want you guys to try out. So in preparation for Hyper Beam getting nerfed, I think, you know, this set could do a little bit of fun. I think it's really fun on Outrage Dragonite. It's really fun on a Pokemon like Serena. It's really fun on like a Flaillox can make good use of it. So it's not a bad item. It's just there are better options for those sorts of playstyles. And last but not least, we have Wise Glasses. They're situationally good. They're not better than choice specs, and they're not as good, or they're not as situational. No, they're more situational than special attack. My brain, dude. We'll make do. But yeah, Wise Glasses, they don't give you as much special attack as choice specs, of course, and they don't, you know, give you the extra benefits of Shell Bell or Wise Glasses. They just increase special attack. That's literally all they do. They're okay, but yeah, is what it is. Let's move on to the battle items. This should be pretty quick, so we'll just fly through them. These are, you know, the tiers for niche and situational aren't, you know, the same as they are over here. Full Heal, I'm gonna put S tier, especially in a Wigglytuff meta, in a Sing meta, in a game where, you know, Pokemon like Blastoise and Mamoswine exist. There's so much CC, there's so much status conditions. I think Full Heal is phenomenal. I think it's probably the second best slot. I mean, you guys all know what the best is. We don't really need to talk about it. But yeah, X Attack. I'm not a fan of X Attack. I'm gonna put it in B just because I do see the value in it occasionally. I got absolutely destroyed by an X Attack Spirit Shackle Decidueye one time. He X Attack Spirit Shackle like one-shot me because he crit me with an X Attack boosted, you know, Spirit Shackle, and it did like half. I don't remember what I was playing. I was playing something squishier, but I got fucking destroyed by it. But generally speaking, I don't think X Attack is a great item. It's usable, but it's nothing special. Fluffy Tail will go ahead and throw in A tier. It's very good. Just being able to secure wild Pokemon. That's what it's for. It's great at it. I miss, you know, using it on Crustle, just throwing in Stealth Rocks, clicking Fluffy Tail, and stealing all the objectives inside. That was so fun. But you can slap Fluffy Tail on pretty much anything, and it's not a bad, you know, item choice. It's of course better on your burstier things to be able to, you know, steal objectives and secure objectives. So it's fine. It's not bad. It's not, you know, the best thing in the world. Potion, I'm putting it above X Attack. I think Potion is actually pretty decent right now. Pokemon like Snorlax can make use of it. Greedent can make use of it. Yeah, it's not a bad item. It's just there are better options for, you know, pretty much everything. Goal Getter, I don't think it's good. I'm gonna save it the embarrassment of being D tier, just because I do see the value in it. I just think if you're going to be running a purely scoring build, you're probably running the combination of Buddy Barrier and Score Shield anyway. And you can, you know, most of the time, that's enough to score 50 at really any point in the game. So, Goal Getter, it's okay, but it doesn't really feel necessary. It's, yeah, it is what it is. It's not a bad item. It's just, you know, nothing special. And it has a super high cooldown. Like, it's good for sneaking scores early game, maybe, but I just don't see it. I think X-Speed sucks. I'm just gonna be blunt with you guys. I know there are gonna be a lot of people upset about that one. That one's gonna piss people off because I see so many X-Speed Pokemon in my games. It's unreal. I think X-Speed's trash. I think it's a worse eject button. Like its cooldown compared to eject button is what? 20 seconds and you move slightly faster. I don't see the value in X speed. Like, maybe if you have to get to a zone at the end of the game, sure. And I know it was a thing on it's a thing on block lags when there's the block bug. Like, that's a thing, but that's more of a bug abuse than X speed being good. Like, it's whatever. I think it's pretty bad. Eject button, do we need to talk about it? It's the best item in the game. I mean, you know, flash away, dodge everything, gain ground to chase, run away. Like, it's eject button. We don't really need to talk about it. And then slow smoke, I think it's kind of on par with Goal Getter, if not a little better. I've used slow smoke maybe a handful of times, but it can work. It's just you know, its AoE is a little bit too small. It's fun, but a lot of Pokemon that you make use of, like I saw a slow smoke Wiggly with Sing try to abuse it one time, and well, first off, your Sing is off cooldown way too often for that to really be useful. Like, you're singing way more than you're slow smoking. Like, it's cool, but you're really only getting value out of that, like, what, 3, 4, 5 times a game maybe, depending. And even then, like, you could just full heal out of slow smoke too. I don't know. I don't think slow smoke's that special. I think it can be cool. Like, it can, you know, set up really cool plays. It's kind of hard to use, and it's nothing crazy. So yeah, there's our item tier list. Let me know what you think. Here's your battle items, here's your held items, and yeah, tell me how stupid I am in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.